Hi, this is Dan Z from Coffee with Kenobi, and you are listening to Star Wars Reactions. Elegant discussion for a more civilized age. Aaron, you do it better, buddy. I did my best.
There's been an awakening. Have you felt it?
In 1977, George Lucas formed a legacy.
Force is with me, and I am with the Force.
Inspired by mythology, his saga has become a passion for many.
Feel the Force around you.
His legend has become our story.
It's true. All of it.
One of resistance,
We are the spark that'll light the fire that'll burn the First Order down.
rebellion,
Rebellion is built on hope.
and redemption.
I am a Jedi, like my father before.
This is Star Wars Reactions.
Remember, the Force will be with you. Always.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Star Wars Reactions. We are so happy you are joining us again for another exciting episode. We're going to have a blast as we continue exploring the third volume of Star Wars Visions. So let's go ahead and get some introductions out of the way. I am the Little Debbie Christmas Tree obsessed host, Aaron Harris, and joining me as always is my pal, my companion, the Chewie to my Han, the David Motters. David, brother, what's up?
What's up, my brother? No, but great introduction, man. That was pretty smooth there. No, doing good, ready to record, ready to react. That's for Greg McLaughlin, our brother over at Rebel Base Card Podcast. And just looking forward to covering this kind of part 3 of our coverage of Visions Volume 3. So looking forward to doing that and getting after it.
Absolutely. We are going to have, you are right. This is our third episode covering the third volume. You can listen to episode 229 and 230 for the first 6 episodes of volume 3 of Visions. This episode, of course, will be covering episodes 7, 8, and 9, which, of course, tells a story in and of itself. It's yeah. So let's get the party started and get this discussion going because yeah. So we're gonna start with episode 6, and of course when we say episode 6, these are the episode orders that you will find when you pull up Visions season 3 on Disney Plus. Episode 6 on that is The Smuggler.
Actually, 7. Episode 7.
Carabast.
Just saying. You're Carabas. You're here we go. We're gonna have a lot of Carabas people.
It's because I didn't eat my little Debbie Christmas tree cake before we started. I didn't.
Here we go.
See, Popeye has his spinach. I have my little Debbie Christmas tree cakes. Yep. So I don't know. And make it more interesting. So Carabast, and let's go. The Smuggler, episode 7. We're doing 7, 8, and 9. 7 volume 3 of Visions. It's one that's titled The Smuggler, released on October 29th, 2025. This, of course, was written and directed by the same person. So I'm only going to say his name once because I only need to butcher it once. Is Masahiko Otsuka.
Yeah.
There we go. That wasn't so bad.
That was good.
And the studio that produced this episode is entitled Trigger. So in this newest exploration of the underworld, a desperate smuggler named Cheetah is hired to rescue a young prince wanted by the Empire. But a job that at first seems like a quick payday quickly becomes an epic journey to the planet Zenarita. So let's go ahead and get our initial reactions on this episode. I'll go first and tell you, of the 3 we're covering, surprisingly, this is the one I like the most. This was this one actually told a decent story, had a great had some great characters, had a lot of creatures and stuff in it, which is always fun. Always had he had a little bit of double crossing there, a surprise Jedi, stormtroopers. I mean, it was a great episode. Great visuals, a lot of fun in this episode. I enjoyed this episode. How about you, David?
Well, it's interesting. You and I did not talk about this before we recorded, but this also is my favorite of the three, and clearly. And we can talk more when we hit the eighth and ninth episode. But completely agree with you. I like Cheetah, the character. Her. I like Gleenu, the lady who has the lightsaber hidden
Hmm.
in the arm. I thought that was really cool. Prince Arlu. I liked his approach. Um, Gave me a Princess Leia feel, kind of a
Yes.
prince or a princess, both wanting to do right by the people. I really like that. And I like the bounty hunter. He was cool, good little foil there. And nothing too heavy duty, but good enough, a good challenge. And then I put a little note here in our show notes. It's always cool to see Yavin
Yeah.
base. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it is always good to see Yavin, and at the end of this episode, of course, they do end up taking the prince and Gleenu to Yavin,
Mm-hmm.
where they are in the care of the rebellion at that point. But it very interesting, because the whole premise is, of course, the Empire comes in, kind of takes everything over, and the royal family is, taken captive and executed, and the prince is the only one who escapes, Prince Arlu, and they're searching everywhere for him because as long as he's out there, there's a link to the old ways. But it is fun to see how, especially when they ambush, and the whole ambush that occurs in that kind of reminded me, kind of like some of the ambush scenes we saw in Rogue One, where you
Mm.
have that surprise. But then, of course, like in Rebels, they got the ambush, and now, like in Rebels, around the corner comes the Imperial Walker. So it's like,
Right.
it's,
Yeah,
which it was
yeah,
fun. It was fun seeing the ATST in this
yeah.
come around the corner, the chicken walker, for those of you who know it by that from Return of the Jedi. But I enjoyed it. I mean, it was interesting, and I, I thought it was unique too, because in Rebels, when we saw these two-legged walkers, Return of the Jedi, when we saw them, we don't really see much of the cabin rotating.
Hmm.
There's some motion and some rotation into it, but this thing does a complete 180 and is
Yeah,
shooting
I noticed
backwards.
that. Yeah, yeah,
I thought that was
yeah.
quite
That was a little.
unique.
Yeah, yeah. That was actually, yeah, because the speeder goes right between the
Mhm,
legs, and then it rotates the 180, like you said. And I thought, oh,
mhm.
that's pretty cool. And most don't have that, but again, with anime, they do well. Just like when we watched the Song of the Four Winds, like the
Yep.
AT-ATs blast up out of the ice and stuff.
Yep.
So it's fun to see a little bit more. I don't know, what do we say? Skill.
More
What is
creativity.
it? Powering up,
I would
creativity,
say more
and yeah,
creativity, because
yeah.
that's a unique, because you'd always would. I mean, up until I saw it happen, it never really crossed my mind of that cabin doing a 180,
Hmm. Yeah,
because of the way it's designed, the way that
yeah,
you would think it would run into the as the way it hangs down in the front, it would hit the legs as it spun around,
yeah,
but obviously not. They made it work.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
of course, I do want to hit on this bounty hunter too, because I did like this bounty hunter. You mentioned him, um, that we see. He is he kind of a I don't know. He kind of, I wouldn't say he was a Mandalorian, but he had that Mandalorian look,
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
to him, with the weapons in his wrist gauntlets and all. Of course, the helmet, which and everything.
Hmm.
He had that Mandalorian feel, um, and of course, his colors were awesome. I'm a little sucker for blue there, but
Yeah,
uh, blue is my favorite color. I do like blue, so having the blue armor, that was pretty cool.
That was.
But he was a unique fellow, and he was very very on task, on mission, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this because hear your thoughts because he is bound and determined to take Arlu in because he wants everything for himself, and when he first gets confirmation that it's Arlu, he's looking at him and goes, are you Prince Arlu?" And Arlu goes, "Oh yeah, that's me." And then the stormtroopers that are standing there go, "Wait, what?" And
Right. And
before they
then
and before they can react, the
he
bounty
turned
hunter
around.
blasts them.
Yeah.
Like, no, no, I'm taking him in.
Yeah.
I,
Exactly.
I ain't sharing anything. I mean, it was just pure bounty hunter goodness.
Oh yeah.
What were your thoughts on Mr. Bounty Hunter, dude?
Well, yeah, like I said, I like him. It's you mentioned it earlier. It's like when we look at all three of these, I guess the question we have to ask is these aren't for where from what 14, 15, 16 minutes up to 22, 23 minutes. Is there ability to do a beginning, a middle, and an end?
Mm-hmm.
You'd mentioned this one actually tells a story. And then the next thing becomes is, how good of a bad guy can you have? Do you make it Imperials? Do you have it be a bounty hunter? What do you have it be? Obviously, we liked the greedy industrialist in, the bounty hunter, right? When it's
Mm-hmm.
seven and the multiple personality droid, and he ended up being a really good baddie and a gold droidica, right?
Yep.
And so here, I think it's really cool. You got a good enough bad guy, and you only got so much time to tell a story. And so from that respect, I really like it, and I like he plays his role. You got good guys, you got a Jedi, you got Cheetah reminds me of Han Solo just trying to get someone off planet, and right,
Yep.
and Glinu is this Jedi like Obi-Wan saying, "Hey, I'll pay this many credits and to get us off the planet and stuff." So a lot of episode 4 vibes, but yeah, I like this bounty hunter, and I thought he provided a good enough foil. It goes back to like I know I'm long winded on this one, but I've been doing a Rebels rewatch. You know that with
Yep.
Pod of Rebellion, and I'm finally caught up. I'm right to where they are. They're at. They just covered Protector of Concord Dawn, and
Fantastic
they've
episode.
been and they've been talking to Henry Gilroy, and so. The reason I bring this up is because at the beginning of season 2, you got Vader in there, and I remember Dave Filoni talking about this. You can't have too much of him, because he's OP, he's overpowering,
Mm-hmm.
and so you got to have Inquisitors, you got to have bounty hunters, you got to have bad guys that serve a role, but you can't have the Emperor and Darth Vader coming at people because they're not going to lose,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's a long-winded way of saying I thought this bounty hunter was cool. He had a cool ship, and he played his role as the baddie.
Oh
So
no, absolutely.
there you go. Yep.
He played a
Yep.
great baddie. And what I liked about this episode too is it didn't just take place on the surface. It wasn't just a chase fight on the surface. We end up in spaceships and we end up flying through the air trying to escape. We have a Star Destroyer coming in and blocking them off. We got TIE fighters chasing them. And we have the bounty hunter getting in his ship and chasing him.
Mhm.
And the ship, correct me if I'm wrong, which, I love Rebels, so I'm probably not that far off. The ship that the Arlu and everybody was escaping in, was it me or did that resemble the ship that I just blanked on his
Oh,
name from
Visago.
Rebels? Yes, Vizago had.
I would say it more closely resembles. It does. It looks kind of close to Visago's, but I thought about the Clone Wars episodes where the Zygarians, the slavers,
Yep, there you go.
that was the ship. They're,
That's it.
Obi-Wan, Anakin are
Yep,
on that, and yep, that's where I first saw
that's
that
it.
ship. Yep,
Yep, yeah,
there we go.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And I know I think we mentioned this in our last episode, and I know I had texted you about it. The episode, StarWars.com did actually put episode up guides up for these episodes as well. And I don't know if you had a chance to go through them yet, David, but uh, Glenu,
Hmm.
I don't know if you caught it, is a Syrian.
Oh no,
Same
like Chiari.
Kiadamundi. Yes.
Oh, I didn't put that together.
I didn't either till I saw it was in the trivia section of the of
Yeah, yeah,
StarWars.com in the
nice.
episode guide. And as soon as it says that and it shows pictures, and as soon as they show the pictures, I'm like, what? How did I not see it? And I
I,
tell you, I can tell you how we missed it. She's got hair.
that's what I was gonna say. Like Chiari Money's got that little tuft at the
Yeah.
top, so you can see the like the
Hmm.
cone head, right? Like
Yep.
in yeah.
Yep. And we're not talking like Dan Aykroyd Saturday Night Live
Right,
coneheads. We're from,
right.
we are from France. No, we're talking, but
Yeah,
yeah, no, she has a full head of hair. That's how I mean, I'm like, that's obviously how I missed it. But
me
man,
too. Me too.
now that I've seen that and they said it and I'm looking, I'm like, I don't know how I missed that.
We
how
can't
to, how to,
unsee it
I
now.
can't unsee it.
Yeah.
So it's quite funny. Um, but yeah,
Hmm.
it's awesome. This was a good episode. I did enjoy Smuggler. It was fun, and it made for a good entertaining watch. So,
Agreed.
anything else about Smuggler before we progress to episode 8?
No, I'm ready to rock and roll.
Okay, here we go. Episode 8 of Volume 3 of Star Wars Visions was entitled The Bird of Paradise. Released October 29th, 2025. Written by, Lord help, written by Tadhiro Tadi Yoshihira and Makoto Uizu,
Yeah, I think that's it.
and directed by
Yes.
Tadshiro Tadi Yoshihira.
Yeah.
And of course, the studio producing this one was Polygon Pictures. This episode, in this particular episode, this is about Nakimi, a hot headed Jedi Padawan, must undergo a series of spiritual trials after being blinded in battle. Is this dark side stronger for the young Jedi, or can she overcome temptation?
Mm, mm.
So let's kick it off. Initial thoughts, David. I'll turn this floor over to you for this one. What were your initial thoughts for Bird of Paradise?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I'll say this: the animation is gorgeous. I mean,
Mhm.
unbelievable. I mean, I maybe one of my favorites um, of this entire season. The anime. I don't even know how they do it. Um, but I guess for me, what I did in terms of the notes is I just kind of liked some of the things being said between the different characters. There is Amon, the Sith, Nakami, like you said. There is Nakami's master as well. Um, but I guess I enjoyed the Smuggler more. I guess this kind of had a beginning, middle, and end. I don't know. I guess I just didn't. I just wanted to stare at the animation. There's no question. But in terms of going back and watching it, it's okay. I mean, I feel like there's always that challenge, right? And we talked about it. I think either I talked about it last episode or the one before, covering the first three episodes or the second three episodes. Is the how much monologuing,
Mhm.
and you have a lot between Nakami and Amon, who ends up being the Sith and kind of her shadow, right? And
Yeah.
light side, dark side, and stuff like that. Um, so I liked it. I like a few of the comments. Um, One was be one with the current, and not fight stuff so much. The other big one, and I wrote it down, EQ, because I've talked about emotional intelligence a lot on the podcast over the years, and the psychology corner and psychology minute and stuff like that. But it's with the statement, do not let emotion rule over you. And that's easier said than done.
Mhm.
say that to a young teenager. It's easy to say that, but then what do you do to help them get there?
Yeah.
But that's a lot of the work, wanting to work on cognitions and helping young males and females control their thoughts to control how they feel, to control how they behave. So
Mhm.
those are just a few of my thoughts. What about you, buddy? What do you think?
For me, you hit the nail on the head when it came to the animation. My favorite part of this episode was the animation. It was the colors are very bright, they're vibrant. Even the dark, even in the darkness, when it's so vibrant. And that to me, that's what made this episode. The way it is divided up into chapters: day one, day two, day three, and each one has its own special theme. Which I'm not gonna lie, did throw me off a little bit, being we were dealing with such a short show. um but it definitely told a story, and it led her on a journey. The journey she was on, trying to work through this
Mm.
injury that she attained from Amon, was just was is definitely an event, a journey. She was fighting her own demons as well as the elements around her, and you see that as each day progresses on and how her attitude changes. I like it was a day three, I think it was, where she was laying on the rock and she's just holding her stomach, telling her stomach to shut up, essentially,
Yes, yeah.
because she's hungry. It's like she's like, be quiet. She's like, even if I could feed you, why would I? Because all it's just going to prolong the inevitable. And I'm
Yes, yeah.
you can tell at
Yeah.
that point she had no hope
Mhm.
in the situation, and this is day three. So it definitely was definitely a character focused, character building episode. Um, there was I will say, there was a lot of uh you could see a lot of the mysticism with the Jedi and everything in this episode, as she's growing, and I like the fact too we even have almost that Dagobah cave thing going on there, where she fights what she thinks is somebody, Amon, and ends up being, or she finds who she thinks is her master, and when she
Yeah.
rolls it over, it's her. And it's like, oh, dude, I mean, that was a pretty deep cut, going
Yeah.
straight to Empire Strikes Back there.
Yeah.
I liked that. I liked that. That was really good. Um, but to me, it was, despite the beautiful animation, I think they probably could have told the story in a little bit shorter format.
Mm.
It felt like they were just drug stuff out longer than they could have,
Mm.
than they necessarily needed to in this. But I mean, the story was good. And let's talk about Amon for a minute, man.
Mhm. Mhm.
Dude, you talk about a wicked Sith.
Yeah.
That laugh
Yeah.
haunts me in my nightmares. I mean, this was like, I thought Ventress was evil at the beginning. This takes it to a whole new. I mean, she's just got that wicked laugh, wicked grin.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just evil to the nth degree. It took what it combined the prowess of the battle prowess of Ventress with the insanity of Maul, after when they fight
Mhm.
when Savage finds him and he's got those spider legs and he's all crazy.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's a combination of those two right there. What did you think of Amon?
No, I like that combination that you just described. Yeah, when I mentioned shadow, that's Carl Jung's work. Again, I'm
Mhm.
sprinkling in a little bit of psychology minutes, psychology corner here, and so that's what you see it kind of morph into, right? Versus, initially she's battling him on the Sith, but then in all of her experiences, it's her addressing her shadow, and that's a big thing. Light, dark, yin and yang, and can you address the more negative aspects of yourself? you know and That's tough, right? That there's always something. I'm talking to people about this all the time in my office. Particularly if it's like an addiction or something, right? I want the alcohol, or I want Xanax, or I want, you pick it, the drug of choice. I want to gamble. Can
Yeah.
you address that shadow, or do you deal with anger issues, And so I thought that was neat how they morphed it over to that and kind of, you know, um, having Nakimi address that aspect of herself, not just the good, but the difficult parts. And like you said in the descriptor, the first description of the episode, the short description, it's she's a hot-headed young Padawan, and AKA Anakin, and it
Yeah.
can get you right. Like
Yeah.
I put that quote down: "Don't let emotion rule over you. If you do, you can get hurt real fast."
Oh yeah.
And she did. Yeah, yeah.
Didn't
So
she?
I did. I liked Amon as a Sith there, and as the Shadow.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good. Anything else about Bird of Paradise before we move into episode 9?
Uh, I think if I watch this a few more times, I think like all these, if I watch them a few more times, I think and just let them sink in more. And I've done that. I've gone back to the different seasons and watched them, and without just thinking about what I want to cover in a podcast, but just
Mhm.
enjoying them. And I think this is one that I might kind of settle into a little bit more and enjoy more as time passes. But
Well, yeah, and I definitely agree with you on that. And in preparation for this recording, I did watch all of these. I think uh, I watched the Smuggler and this one 3 times. It took me all I could to make it through the next one. We'll talk about twice, but we'll get into
yeah.
that shortly. But this, the more you watch it, the more you catch stuff in it,
Hmm.
because as much as it is as beautiful as the animation is, you have to keep track of what's going on and what's happening, because to see the transformation going on, because you see her when she first gets down there and she's in there, she's beat up, her hair's a mess, her robes are done. And as each day passes and as her journey progresses, you start seeing her look change. You start
Yeah.
seeing her get more put together and more organized in her.
Mhm.
In the chaos is becoming organized,
Yeah.
and you begin to see that till right there at the end. She is this
Yeah.
formidable
Yeah.
Jedi at that point, as she goes through her trials essentially.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. It is. And just like with any of the 9, you know, Skywalker saga, watching them, I'll pick up on new stuff.
mhm.
And these definitely, there's so much packed into these, and so I will definitely go back and watch these and enjoy them. So, but we'll get on to episode, or the 9th episode, I guess here.
All right. So let's go ahead and jump into episode 9. This episode was entitled Black, released October 29th, 2025, written and directed by Sheena Ohira. And the studio that produced this is entitled David Production.
Hey, I don't
No.
want to claim this one though. Sorry, side comment, side comment.
Side comment, side comment. Well, this one explores a stormtrooper's internal conflict amid an epic space battle. On the cusp of defeat, a psychedelic journey intertwines the past, present, light and dark, life and death for an imperial or for the imperial trooper. So, yeah, I'll kick this one off because if you've listened to the last 2 episodes when we've been talking about visions, or even in the episode where I announced when a couple it was a while ago when we visions was announced and they announced all the titles, and I went over it and the
Mhm.
descriptions and everything, and I specifically said this is the one I'm waiting for. This is it. This is the end all be all. This is the one that I have to out of all of them. If I only get to see one, this is the one I have to see. I'm not even sure what I watched, to be perfectly honest. Um, it the description I read is actually straight from StarWars.com. And calling it a psychedelic trip is really hitting the nail on the head for me. Um, I the only thing I was sure about was it appeared at the beginning of the episode that we were at the Battle of Endor, the Death Star, X-wings, Tie fighters. I'm pretty sure we were at the Battle of Endor. Um, After that, I really don't know what happened.
No, I don't either. I don't either.
I mean, it was. I have. I. I'll admit, I've watched a lot of stuff in my lifetime. I've watched shows in other languages growing up overseas. I have watched shows from many different countries. I have never been more confused after watching something. And normally I could sit down if I get confused, I could sit down and watch it again and figure stuff out. But I could not figure out for the life of me what was going on. We have the stormtrooper who doesn't have an arm in red with red shadowing half a helmet fighting a green what looked like a zombie trooper.
Right.
I and there's this, high emotion jazz music going on.
Right.
I,
Yeah.
I'll admit I was lost. I'm gonna, like I said, I was lost all through this, and which to me was kind of disappointing because, like I said, this is the one I was looking forward to. I mean,
Yeah.
I can only tell you two parts where I was 100% sure what was going on. One was the space battle. We see the Death Star, we see X-wings, we see A-wings, we see TIE fighters, which kind of gave me the impression that we were at the Battle of Endor. Then there's a scene where we see troopers on a going through like bridges and stuff, fighting rebel troopers. I mean,
Yeah.
but then I'm like, okay, is this a flashback but then I see the Star Destroyer in the background looking like it's crashing and it looks like we're in a hangar bay. I'm like, okay, well, this can't be the Battle of Endor because Rebellion didn't land troops on the Death Star. That wouldn't have made sense. They're trying to blow it up. So I was, I don't
Yeah.
know. Now, I will say there was one shot in here that I absolutely, despite my confusion, I absolutely loved, which was a close up of the broken stormtrooper helmet, the one eye that was still left, and you can see the reflection of the other trooper that he's wrestling with. To me,
Mm.
that was beautifully animated. Um, but dude, I was lost, man. I don't, I went way long on my initial reactions. What were
Yeah.
your initial reactions, David?
Lost as well. I even put a question in our notes. Are the green and red troopers the same person, or are they fighting each other? Um, it did this to me does not have a beginning, middle, and end, like the other ones try to do. And this is actually something you and I did talk about before we started recording. Is I said to you, maybe this really is one that they put in out of the 9 episodes to just you interpret it. Like when you look at art, particularly if it's not a painting of a person or whatever. Like a lot of times when you look at it, you ask, what is the emotion that we get? What's the interpretation? Is it artistic to us? Is it not? Um, like I said, the jazz music didn't match up to me for how it seemed very serious and very down, right? Versus like you said, kind of upbeat jazz music at times. I'm like, wait, and maybe is that kind of when they talk about the artist, what kind of response are they trying to get out of the audience?
Mm-hmm.
If it is, kind of the more of a negative, like this haunted psyche of an imperial trooper, I think he got that. It's negative, it's down, it's gritty, it's fighting, and then throw in music that just makes you more confused, you know. And I don't know if that's what he was going for, but in terms of enjoying this, no, no, I didn't. I The second time I just skimmed through it. I didn't even really want to watch it a second time. I will not be coming back to this one. The rest I will be. This, it just doesn't, it doesn't do it for me. Now the next person, like we said, with art, someone else might be like, "Oh my gosh, Aaron, Dave, I love this. I didn't you get this and this and this?" No. So if others enjoy it, then more power to them, right, buddy?
Exactly. And I'm glad you said that, because despite our confusion and like I said, David said, I'm probably not going to go back and rewatch it again. Um, is going to be there for everyone. We don't have to like everything.
No.
You, the listener, don't have to like everything. It's that's there's so much Star Wars coming out. There's so much content out there right now. And even though they are pulling back a little bit, we're not going to get anything for a while now till I think the next thing that we're officially know of that's coming out is Mando and Grogu movie. So that's not till March. So we got a while to wait. But there's so much Star Wars content that has come out that you don't, nobody expects you to like everything. It's impossible for you to like everything. Just like when you sit down and watch a TV show, you may love the TV show. You may be your favorite TV show in the world, but I can guarantee you, if you could probably pick one, two, maybe even three, depending on episodes, depending how long the series ran, that you don't care for. I guarantee it. Everybody does.
That's right.
So it happens. So I have no, I mean, if those of you out there if y'all watched it, y'all loved it, tell us, please. We would love to hear your point of view, the point of view from you. If you enjoyed this episode, let us know. We would love to hear it and hear what you got out of it, because that may open our eyes to something that we missed. Because, it's just not our cup of tea. I mean, it's not my cup of tea. That's, Dave and I went through this through the volume one of Visions. David enjoyed it. I didn't. I have not watched volume one of Vision since we covered it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll admit it. Now volume two, I loved. I thought it was great. It was a lot better for me. And volume three started out great. I liked it. Started out great. There were some great episodes in the first six.
Yeah.
Even number 7 was pretty good.
Yeah.
These last two, especially this one, Black, left me winning. But I would love it if y'all are out there and y'all watched the episode. First off, if you liked it, I'm so happy for you. I love the fact that you love it. Okay. But like I said, tell us, send us a message, DM us, email us, send us a voicemail. Let us know what you thought of it. Tell us why you connected with this episode, why you liked it, what you got out of it. Cause I mean, hearing what you have to say may cause us to go back and rewatch it and be like, dude, I see that now. That's awesome. I get it. Sometimes that's just what it takes. One person to say something to open your eyes and look at something in a different way, and it changes everything. So, but yeah, that's where I'm at with this episode, honestly.
Well said. Well said, my friend.
Now, the one thing I will say though that I thought was pretty stinking cool is when the Death Star blew up at the end of this thing. One thing that I thought that it animated in the episode was, as the Death Star is blowing up, the Star Destroyers that were nearby, you saw them getting destroyed because of the explosion and the shockwave. Never would have crossed my mind, especially after watching Return of the Jedi and seeing the Death Star explode, or even A New Hope, the Death Star explodes and the fighter's still flying away. those things would have been close enough. They'd have felt the shockwave and technically should have been destroyed themselves. Something that size exploding. Um, but seeing that in this, just well, I was like, dude, that's incredible. And the way they exploded, it wasn't just a big explosion from the middle. You could see them being crushed from the top side going down through the ship and coming in pieces at the bottom. It was just really well done.
Yeah.
You could tell they took into account the when they animated it, the physics and science behind it, that the shockwave would be passing through the ship, not causing it to explode from the inside out. And I
Yeah.
thought that was just really well done.
Yeah. Yeah. No question. The animation and all this, there's in every episode, all nine, some incredible stuff that's been animated. Yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, anything else about Black before we start wrapping stuff up?
No, no, I feel like we covered it pretty good.
Excellent. Excellent. I think we did too. I thought this was good. Now, I am going to catch you off guard because this is not in our show notes. Looking back, episode 1 through 9 of volume 3, I'm going to hit you with this one, David. I hope you're ready. What episode was your favorite?
Bounty Hunter.
Bounty Hunter?
Yep. Yep. With seven and the droid with the assassin protocol. I
Mm-hmm.
really liked that episode.
Bounty Hunter. Yeah, I agree. Bounty Hunter was my favorite. Close second was Song of the Four Wings.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I can't argue with that. Love that. Loved it. You and I
And
really, really saw this volume the same, honestly. And we did not talk beforehand.
no, we haven't. That's why.
No, we've really matched up on this one,
Yeah,
really
yeah.
close.
Bounty Hunters, Songs of the Four
Mhm.
Wind, and third place for me would have been Smuggler.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I think, yeah,
so
yeah.
but that's where we're at. That's where we're at. So, of course, we want to hear from you and hear what y'all think about Volume 3 of Star Wars Visions. There are many ways you can let us know your thoughts. Of course, the easiest way is hitting us up on any of our social media, whether through comments or through direct message. You can find us on Facebook and X at SW Reactions Pod, Blue Sky, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, Threads, and YouTube and Tumblr at SW Reactions. We are also, you can also email us at swreactions@gmail.com, as well as you can leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/Star Wars Reactions. That's a mouthful. David, if somebody wants to talk to you about Star Wars or about Visions or anything else in particular, how would they go about doing that, my friend?
I would say just look up my name, David Motters, on Instagram. Any of the show socials.
Mhm.
Aaron gets those to me. And I guess Twitter X. I haven't been doing a whole lot there, but still have Twitter X on there. That's at David_Motters. And there we go.
All right, all right. And I still love how you call that Twitter X.
Hey,
Uh, hey,
I cover all my bases there.
you do, you do, you do. Of course, if you want to get a hold of me, the best way, of course, is like I said, as David mentioned, I will be answering all of the show socials. Of course, you can always hit me up on my personal accounts too, at TA Harris 121079 on X and Instagram. Would love to hear from you there. Um, so yeah, that's about it. So, David, are you ready?
I'm I'm born ready. I was gonna say I believe so, but no, I'm gonna say I was born ready. I'm ready.
Well, I got a good one for you because it's time for our Star Wars dad joke of the week, y'all. And this one, I actually was sent yesterday by our good friend, Mary Perdue.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And to give you the background on this, this is the story she sent me. She goes, I was just in WaWa and I have on my droid shirt from Celebration. And the clerk told me this joke.
Nice.
here it goes. Do you know what Han Solo's favorite dessert is?
No, what is Han Solo's favorite dessert?
Obi-Wan cannoli.
Oh my, oh God. That is an eye roller. Oh my gosh.
Thank you to Mary and the clerk there at the WaWa where she is in Orlando there. Appreciate that. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. David, this has been a blast, my friend.
It's been a blast, and Mary needs to go back and tell that guy to listen to this episode.
Absolutely. Certainly does. Certainly does. So, of course, I'm going to go eat some Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes now, but just want to say thank you, everybody, for listening. We love y'all. Y'all are the best. Thank y'all so much for joining us. We love y'all. We're praying for y'all, wishing y'all the best every day. Of course, it's not just during the holiday seasons, but every day of the year. Do something kind for somebody. Make somebody's world a little bit brighter just by the slightest show of kindness. You'll be surprised how good that will make you feel. Remember, this is your place for elegant discussion for a more civilized age.
This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or by Lucasfilm Limited. It's intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars. All names, sounds, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Disney and the respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Star Wars Reactions, unless otherwise indicated. Star Wars Reactions. Elegant discussion for a more civilized age.